Hey guys, we are going to look at Football Manager 2020. There's been a question out there all over the web on how to use the in-game editor. Now, once you purchase your Football Manager 2020, you would have to add the other DLC piece, which is if you scroll down from the Steam Store page down to where it says content for this game, the Football Manager 2020 in-game editor, you would have to add this to the game. Now, it's not going to work right away. Once you add that to the game, you would have to go into the game, reload the game with the add-on added, and save the game. So once you save the game, um, then once it's integrated with the save file, then you could modify it with the editor. Now, to bring up the editor, there's a few options you could do is add it to your toolbar, or second, just use the references that actually have these little editor check marks, like a little pencil, called the front Football Manager in-game editor. So what you could do is go to your options, preferences, and you could just search for game editor, right? And make sure that's checked. Okay? Once that's checked, confirm your changes. Then any of the pages that you see throughout the Football Manager 2020, you'll have the little pencil mark. So click on here, and you'll have options to modify the existing settings for that current page that is currently active. Some of them are related to the club, right? So club finances. Um, Here, let me go back to this. So you'll have options for, like, say that we are on our home page. So we want to click on finances, click on the editor, which is that little pencil up on there on the top of your screen, and you'll see in-game editor online manual in case you want to understand some of the different functionality of what you could do for the changes on the financial side, or just click on edit club details. This allows you to modify the general information such as like the club attendance, the min max attendance that are able to be achieved for the current standing. You could also go to the finance tab. You could change the bank balance, your transfer budget. Of course, that's important, especially when you do your transfers on the on your club, and also the payroll budget. Currently that fluctuates, so you have to make sure you have a good bank balance, a good transfer budget for it to make sense, because there might be some challenges where you may have to transfer some existing players to swap them out from other negotiation tactics. So you want to make sure your budget is big enough to accept that, and also accept upcoming new players that are coming on board, especially when you're scouting for the new ones. Then you also have an option for Sugar Daddy. This feature allows you to have more someone backing up your financial status in case you're short. You want to make sure you don't go underwater, and of course you don't want to be sacked if you go in the negative too long. You get your facilities, go through your capacity, your seating capacity for your primary stadium. Just more characteristics on the type of surface that is being used in your facility, and also this will talk about your training facilities and how many use facilities you may have, and the quality, of course, to make sure they're optimal for your players. You got your tactical attributes. You got your rival clubs, and you can actually choose your favorites, dislike certain people out there. I'm not really sure what this actually does. It might play some side effects in the game, and your affiliations of what sponsorships and what other affiliations you may have to your club. Okay. Now, of course, that's just the financial side, but you could actually go into like the staff, modify the staff information, and you could actually make changes to, when you're looking at other teams out there, you could actually bring them on board. Say you want to take a look at other players out there. Let's look at your squad. And say you want to look at this player. Here's Zimba. I can't pronounce this guy's name. Zlayton. Go to the editor. You could actually move him to another club. You could remove all injuries that he might persist in the current year. You could actually modify the attributes of the player. So you could really, really tweak this up to to anything you like. It seems like every variable, every option is accessible in this game, of everything from the player to the financial to the training facilities, even to your staffing, and also your teams that you're playing against. So, for instance, give you an example. Recently, I played against a team. There were some top players that actually kind of really did a really marvelous job compared to some of my other players. So I decided to bring them on board. So what you do, you just click on the editor on that person, and you want to click on Move to My Club. This immediately puts him in your club with minimal costs, but you still have to pay the salary for the coming year. So that would give you a negative budget, especially when you have something in the future that you have to pay up, and you only have a budget of maybe 130 million coming in or allocated for the year. And so the monthly may not be something where you may want to sustain. You may not be able to sustain a monthly budget that's going to keep your players being paid, monthly, or it depends on what you have on the contract. So you might want to increase that bank balance until you're able to overcome some of the losses, until you're able to make that bottleneck up, especially when you have all these high salary players, right? Or you could just get rid of some of the players that you don't like anymore, transfer them, get rid of them, terminate their contract, pay a penalty, whatever it takes to balance your budget, because the budget is very important, and you will get sacked, definitely. Now, there is a feature in the game which is kind of cool. I think it's under the club details. I think it might be one of the features. If I could try to find it in here, where would it be here? It may be in the home page. Let's see. Become unfireable. Important. When your team does not succeed in winning games, or if for some reason you do some ugly transfer or you don't balance the budget, you could be sacked easily. And it's not really forgiven, especially when you make a small little error. They might just kick you out in a matter of months. So if you're starting out, it's always good to go ahead and click on Become Unfireable. This will keep you, in place in case you make some mistakes. You can recover from them, and you're not going to lose the game. All right. This is Football Manager 2020, and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you.